Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Um, we are in Crans-Montana this morning for the women's downhill ski race, and a little delayed, a minute two behind here. And what we have is we already have ski racer number one, Nina Ortlieb, on the course and down with a terrible spill into the netting on the side after just 12 seconds of race time. Nina Ortlieb was runner skier number one out of the gate, out of the box. We've got really cloudy conditions here in Crans-Montana this morning. Again, welcome. We're going to follow the women's downhill today, the last downhill before the Olympics and the Olympic women in Cortina next Sunday. On the third day of the Olympics. So Friday night opening ceremonies, Saturday morning men's downhill from Bormio, Sunday morning women's downhill from Cortina. Just double checking on that real quick. Make sure I've got those dates right. Olympic downhill for the women, Cortina, Sunday, the 8th of February. So yeah, and again, we're here in Crans-Montana. As you all know, New Year's Eve, terrible tragedy here. You can see my little ribbon, a little moment, thoughts and prayers for the people who died in that terrible bar fire in Crans-Montana on New Year's Eve. Sparklers attached to champagne bottles set off the fire on parts of the ceiling. It spread quickly. Unfortunately, 40 people lost their lives and more than 100 were injured. So terrible, terrible tragedy there. Yeah, back to today's race. There is a delay as they try to fix the netting there on the side. Um, there's a pause in the race, so we haven't really missed anything yet. Racer number one was Nina Ortlieb. Famously, her father was an Olympic champion and a world champion um, back in '92 in Albertville, and then in I think it was '94 the world championship. So yeah, um, we're going to cover this downhill race. Tomorrow we have the women's Super G. The good news here, real quick, Nina Ortlieb, who did crash just 12 seconds into the race, and she's had a terrible record of bad crashes, bad injuries, long recoveries, missed, I think, the better part of 3 seasons to these different injuries. She was back up on her skis after they got her untangled from the safety netting. Right now, I'm watching the Austrian news channel sport.orf.at. I will put that into the chat window. Um, you guys can, if you have VPN, you can definitely watch there. Um, but fun to just join in here and we'll talk about it. Get in on the chats. Last week at the downhill in Kitzbühel, we had 2,500 people on the Watchalong. It was a great fun. So yeah, happy to have you guys all here. Um, Going to follow probably the top 30, 35 women today as they go down. Had a little bit of a technical issue earlier. My other mic, my mic mini, my DJI mic mini, was not working, so I had to get that going again. But yeah, waiting now just for race control to open up the race again. Nina Ortlieb has now skied down through the finish line. Um, Despite that crash, she was able to get back up. She is unhurt, and thank goodness for that because she's had a heck of a time over her career with injuries. So super happy to see her um, back up and at it. We are going to have Romain Miradoli come down second. Um, she is from France, and then number three. Let's get everybody lined up here. Who do we got then? And we've got Marte Monsen, third from Norway, and then Jackie Wiles from the States, Corinne Sutter from Switzerland, then Lindsay Vonn, the big favorite, the leader in the women's downhill standings right now with 400 points. You can see up in the top right of my screen, I've got the women's downhill World Cup standings there. Um, They're announcing Mirodili now. They have a time for her to start going. I'm going to switch over to um, there. Okay, got the live feed going. There is a lag. There is a lag between the FIS live timing, the FIS live timing here that you see that we'll be watching all the sectors. Um, there is a lag between that and what I'm seeing. So I'm going to be giving you the timing as we go through each racer, and then I'll be able to see exactly, how things happen, like with that crash just now, and um, how they're doing with the jumps and the speed checks and all that. So we've got, if we look in the window here, we've got one, two, three, four time checks, and we've got two speed traps. Yeah, Nina Ortlieb coming around a curve, lost it. Her max speed at that up to that point in the race was 91.31. So yeah, FIS does a real nice job with the live timing here. As you see, we can look at that, um, and we will get all that information fed to us really quickly. Still says race interrupted, so bear with us here. Um, okay, Mirodili is in the start house. She is tightening the boots and ready to go. We have some light snow in Crans-Montana today in the southwest of Switzerland, not too far from the Italian border. And we are just about ready now. So it's like hurry up and wait because the race started and the first racer down, Nina Ortlieb, crashed after just 12 seconds into the safety nettings on the left side of the course coming down. She was in a bit of a tight left turn and just lost it and slid into the nets. It was a bit of a heart-stopping moment because she's had so many injuries, as we mentioned, missing the better part of 3 seasons due to injuries. Um, but we're about ready to go. Mirodili in the start house is ready, getting one last drink from her bottle. Um, and right behind her, Marte Monsen. We've got Americans in position 4, 6, and 7 with Jackie Wiles, Lindsay Vonn, and Breezy Johnson. Local Swiss favorite, the only Swiss skier in the first 15 is Corinne Sutter with start number 5. Roman Miradoli from France is ready. She is moving up to the start line here. They have pulled that little timing bar back in, and she is ready. Okay, first racer to start in 51 seconds, 48 seconds, and that's what I'm watching on the TV feed here. Um, but we'll see what the lag is because here you can see where it says next on the screen, where I'm moving the screen around a little bit here. We'll see when it says started, and as soon as it says started there, we will be able to jump up to the actual started. All right, so there's a 23, 24-second lag. Roman Miradoli heading towards the first speed check. 11:99, 12:18. So she's 19 hundredths of a second slower than Nina Ortlieb was, but then right after that is where Ortlieb crashed. And Miradoli now heading towards um, the second timing. She's at 25:84. So fairly short timing sections there. There are 4 all in all. I'm not sure if the weather has affected where they started from. Visibility from the start house down looks pretty good. 4213, she's got 114 kilometers an hour through the second speed trap coming down to the final time check, sector 4. I don't think we're going to be much. Yeah, 102 through sector 4, and that probably means we're going to be under 120, maybe 122, 123. We'll have to see. I'm not sure. I know they trained yesterday, and she's in 115. There we go. So yeah, just under 120, 115.60 for Roman Miradoli. Now we don't know how much she was affected by the crash. Number 1 rider crashes. The number 2 skier is right behind her in the start house, ready to go. Um, if we look at the screen here, the start interval is 140, so she would have been ready and waiting, um, and would have had to go back because there was a break in the race for a good 5-6 minutes there, almost 7 minutes. And yeah, I mean, Miro Dili did a nice job, but we have no way of knowing what her time is worth yet. Now, Monson is on the trail, 2 tenths up on Miro Dili through the first time check, coming into the second time check now, but Monson was much slower um, in that first speed trap, and yeah, those 2 tenths are gone, back down to zero. So they're even through the second time check. Coming up to the third time check, it's about 16, 17 seconds to that second, and she's got the advantage back. 27 100s now for Monsen, ahead of Miro Duli now. Neither of those two are in the top 7 in the downhill standings, which you can see up at the top right corner here. Um, Coming into the final time check, Monson has built her lead to 39 100ths of a second, and I'm seeing, yeah, 116 on the speed. Good bit faster, 1.5 kilometers an hour faster, and she's just about to, oh, DNF. I'm going to have to watch here real quick on the side and see what happened because she was up 4 tenths of a second. She was pretty wide coming down some of the last turns, but she was within sight of the final gate. Oh no, and she just missed it. Oh, and she's down in a heavy crash. This is not a good start to this race, guys. She was literally 3 seconds from the finish line. And, oh, this is not good. This is not good. She's in she has slid across the finish line, but skis came off. She hit the netting. Race is interrupted. This is really unfortunate. Marte Monsen, who was 4 tenths of a second ahead of Romain Miradoli at the final time check. Okay, she's sitting. She's shaken up, but wow, she is sitting. Her helmet is off. She got into a bad slide about 6 gates from the finish. Got into some heavier snow, some thicker snow, and could no longer control her skis. Hit a gate, went across the piste, and went into the netting on the right side pretty hard. Her coach is now walking out towards the finish area. She's sitting, but don't see her helmet. But she is talking. She is sitting up and talking, um, which is good to see. Now this is pretty tough. This is not a great way to start the final women's downhill before the Olympics next week. This is pretty scary stuff to watch. Really, the first girl crashed, Nina Ortlieb. Luckily, she was able to get untangled from the net and continued. Was able to ski down under her own power. Marte Monsen now sitting upright, kind of moving her hands through her hair a little bit, um, talking to the crew. They did bring um, the sled stretcher over to her. She's talking to the medical team. I saw her coach trying to get a little closer, but I don't think she's allowed to go into that area at this time. So again, race interrupted. The next racer would be Jackie Wiles from the U.S. So yeah, um, we're gonna have a bit of an interruption here. Hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully she's okay. They're showing images now of all the athletes and coaches up at the top watching the monitor that they have near the top of the course. Weather conditions again, snowing very lightly, just flurries. At the top at the start house, you can see all the way down into the village of Cromontana. You can see the mountains on the other side of the valley. There's been fresh snowfall. It looks like that area where they prepare up at the top by the start house is all trampled. So I'm thinking fairly soft snow. I'm going to try to get you Cromontana weather. Right now it says -8 degrees Celsius, which is about 17 Fahrenheit. There is some precipitation. Like I said, that very light snow, I see it in some shots, not all. It looks like they will put Marte Monsen on the stretcher out of an abundance of caution. We don't know um, what kind of leg injuries she might have, but she looked like from the waist up, she was okay. She was talking, she was sitting up. The thing is, when your skis get caught in those safety nets on the side, um, oftentimes legs go in different directions, and this is where you see so many of the ski racers that do crash into these safety nettings. Yes, it's better to have them. You don't want them flying off the side of a mountain somewhere uh, into rocks and things like that. But oftentimes their knees will take a shot during a crash like that. The Nina Ortlieb is now giving interviews to the feed that I'm watching to the Austrian sports, and they're showing her crash. She just came around a left turn a little too quick, couldn't make it, and went across. But she was lucky. Both of her skis went into the netting, um, perpendicular or flat up to it. They didn't go on weird angles. Her legs weren't askew in different directions. She had both of her feet in front of her. She was back. She was controlling the slide with her hands. Um, so that was a positive. She seems really calm. It's just an unfortunate crash. Okay, in the background I can see that Marte Monsen is being taken down the rest of the way through that finish area on the little sled stretcher. Um, yeah, no word yet on what's happening to her there. So yeah, we're going to try to get an update on that as soon as we can. Not sure how long it's going to be. The course is certainly okay again. All that happened to the course was that one gate was torn up a little bit by Monson when she crashed. I'm sure that's easily fixed. Getting her the attention she needs is much more important at this point. So once again, we are in a delay. We are 20 minutes into this, and we have three racers started, two racers crashed. The first racer, Nina Ortlieb, crashed after just 12 seconds and was able to ski down under her own power, is giving interviews now. And then the second racer was Romain Mirdoli from France, and she was able to complete the course in 1:15:60. Marte Monsen from Norway was the third ski racer down, and she was way ahead. She was 4/10 of a second ahead through the last time check, and then just 3 or 4 gates from the finish, had a bit of a slide, got into some deeper snow, um, hit a gate, and then could no longer make the turn and went straight across the track. Instead of making that left turn, she went straight across and into the nets. Did a bit of a helicopter as she hit the net. And ended up sliding all the way down the last 100 or so yards into and across the finish line into that finish area. Um, so yeah, a really tough start to this race. The final tune-up in the downhill before The Olympics. Again, we'll be covering all three races this weekend. We'll be covering the downhill today for the women, the Super G tomorrow for the women, and the downhill for the men on Sunday. So 11 o'clock was this morning, 10 o'clock was this morning start. Uh, Over the weekend, it's an hour later. So Super G tomorrow is at 11, downhill for the men. So Super G for the women tomorrow at 11, downhill the men tomorrow, Sunday at 11 as well. So just waiting to see when we're going to get clearance for the race to continue. Okay, 36 seconds. So because of the lag, I know there's about a 23-second lag. About 5 seconds away, we should see here Jackie Wiles, number 4. She's ready to go. She's at the gate. Started. She is on her way, and let's just keep our fingers crossed that everybody stays safe, and that we can finish this race without any injuries and further crashes. So Jackie Wiles on the course, 1600ths of a second slower than Miro Deli at that first time check. Okay, so nice that we're racing again. Tough stuff today. 80 kilometers an hour for Jackie Wiles through the first speed trap, which is really, really slow. And now she's picked it up. And by the second time check, she's 10 hundredths, a tenth of a second ahead, and she's really racing now. She is a half a second up on Miro Duli through time check 3, and now her speed is the fastest. So whatever happened up there during the first speed trap, she's put that all behind her. She's still 4 tenths, 5 tenths ahead now, a second ahead. Jackie Wiles 1 second ahead going through the final time check, and she should be in the finish in just about 10 seconds here. And we will see. We're going to have a new leader. Definitely going to have a new leader. Yes, she's in 114.95. So that puts her up 65 100. She did lose 35 100ths in the last sector from time check 4 into the finish line. And we're going to try to see what happened here. There's a lot of snow. Yeah, it's the exact same place that Monsen crashed. Jackie Wiles had the exact same issue. Right turn, gets slid down into some deep snow, almost can't make that final turn. That turn is way too tight. I mean, you're coming down at 116 kilometers an hour, and then they basically put a really steep, a harsh turn into there. She just barely made the turn where Monson hit the gate, and then she was just barely able to get inside the next gate. This is a really dangerous combination. Corinne Suter, start number 5 on the track, and she is up. She's up 1/10, coming into time check 4 in just a few seconds. The starting gap is about a minute 40 here. Got to stay on top of that. So we have our race plus the lag with the video feed, and she's 9 100ths back now, coming into the final few gates, and this is where several riders have now had those problems. And Suter is across the line in, should have it, 28 hundredths behind. Second place for Corinne Suter of Switzerland, behind Jackie Wiles of the US, 28 100. So not even that close. But again, these last 3 or 4 turns, and now you can see Sutter took her foot off the gas. She knew exactly what was going to happen there. There's that right turn with a lot of snow. If you get taken out of that curve, that line, even just a little bit, you're in trouble into the deep snow, and you can't make that next 90-degree right turn. It's a downhill. I always wonder why they put in like 90-degree turns at really what is arguably one of the fastest parts of the course. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Lindsay Vonn on course and killing it through the first time check. 11:79 through the first time check. DNF. Oh my gosh. What is going on today? 3 of the first 6 Lindsay Vonn is out, and I'm watching here. She was only 15 to 20 seconds in. I'm seeing the video feed. Oh, she is in the net again. Race interrupted again. Lindsay Vonn in the netting, fighting to get out of it. So, oh, leaning to her right. She was just moving, and now she's not moving all that much. She just completely went straight at the right, a right-hand turn about 15 or 16 seconds in. What a terrible, terrible, terrible chain of events right now. Her head is moving. Um, this is really brutal. This is really brutal. Seeing this many accidents. So that's 6 racers down. Only 3 have made it to the finish line. Um, Started with Nina Ortlieb, who crashed as our first rider, and it looks like um, Lindsay Vonn crashed in exactly the same place. Okay, I'm finally getting the feed here. Yeah, yeah, prepping for that same right-hander that Ortlieb was prepping when she went down. She came over the little jump. She got a little turned around in the air, landed hard, and then she landed on a side slope, and then there was just no way to make the right turn. So there's a small jump, and then she got completely turned around and went backwards into the netting. Sometimes I wonder if that's better or worse. I think it's usually better to get your skis in there first, like we saw with um, Nina Ortlieb. She just squared up to the net. They are getting Lindsay Vonn out of the netting now. Um, yeah, wow, this has been one of the toughest races to watch in a long time. 6 racers started, 3 of them crashed. One with significant, injuries that she was put on the sled and taken down. That was Marte Monsen of Norway. Um, the first racer, Nina Ortlieb, crashed but was able to get up under her own power and ski down the rest of the way. Gave an interview, looked okay, didn't even look very shook up. And now Lindsay Vonn, was who is leading the women's downhill World Cup standings right now, 400 points, 144 points clear of Emma Eicher in second. Um, and Eicher, of course, now has the chance to make up a lot of ground. Um, we're going to see Breezy Johnson next, and Kira Weidel-Winkelmann, who's third overall, can also make up a lot of ground. Um, then number 9 is Sofia Goggia, Laura Pirovano. Number 10, Kaisha Vikhoff-Lee will start number 11th. Connie Hutter, Cornelia Hutter of Austria, number 12, and then Emma Eicher, the second-ranked World Cup downhiller, will be. So yeah, here's the crash of Vaughn again. Yeah, there's a swinging left turn that ends in a jump, and when you land from the jump, you're not on flat ground, you're on a slope. And she came down one one ski at a time. She is standing. She has her poles in her hand. She's leaning on her poles, but um, I see them preparing the helicopter. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen now. If she just has a knee injury or something that's bad enough that they don't want her trying to ski down on her own, or if they don't have one of the sleds at that point, because it's right at the top. I mean, she was not even 15, 16 seconds into the race when she went down. So we're now 33 minutes in, and we've only had 3 racers cross the finish line. 6 racers have started, and 3 have finished, and 3 have crashed. Lindsay Vonn on her feet, uh, leaning heavily on the right foot and seemingly favoring her left knee, her left leg. She's kind of holding it up above the snow a little bit, um, trying to get more information here. Um, but yeah, this is not looking good for Lindsay Vonn. Definitely the favorite in the downhill and Super G for the Olympics that start in a week. And at her age, at 41, I'm not so sure. Okay, she's walking. She's limping though. She's limping heavily. Back uphill a little bit to a couple of fellows who are holding her skis. She's trying to put some pressure on that left knee, and she can't. So to me, it definitely looks like a left knee injury. I think it's a left knee injury for Lindsay Vonn. Um, Again, for those just joining us, hey everybody, 6 racers in, 3 through the finish line, 3 have crashed, including today's favorite, Lindsay Vonn, and the favorite for the the gold medal in both the downhill and Super G at the Olympics, which start next week. Tremendous comeback. What a story. Lindsey Vonn, age 41, comes back, has won a couple of races now already this year, and is leading the standings in the World Cup in downhill. Okay, she's actually got her skis on. This is interesting because she was so heavily favoring that left leg, and you can see now she's kind of like pushing down, getting into like a little bit of a squat position, trying to see exactly what she can do on those skis right now. Um, she's still got her helmet on, goggles are off, gloves are off, and got to just see what they're going to try to do for her. If they're going to, I mean, because it's still a long way down. I mean, at race speed, it's another minute down. So just casual skiing, this is probably three minutes for her to get down. She's sliding a little, but she's gritting her teeth and really favoring that left knee, and she's just kind of sliding down now. Um, so facing left, so that her right leg is the downhill ski. That way she can take all the pressure off of her left leg. Okay, she's made one turn and she's kind of going across, but very quickly now trying to slide. She is able to ski. She's making very, very small turns, um, just kind of sliding into her turns. Still just testing what kind of pressure she can. Yeah, she's holding the left knee. She's like pushing it in a little bit and holding it. She's trying to see. She's had injuries um, in the past. Still really gritting her teeth. I'm not sure where they're trying to get her to. It's a long way down. If she's injured with that left knee, I really don't think she should be skiing. Okay, she tried to pick up speed a little bit there. She is waving at people now a little bit, kind of saying she's okay, but it's a long way down, and there's some really steep bits. I don't see the point of risking it, you know. You can see Sofia Gotcha now giving interviews up at the top a little bit, or talking to her coaches, talking to the American coaches, trying to understand how Lindsay's doing. Lindsay is still trying to get down, and she's just having all kinds of trouble. She's having all kinds of trouble. She's like grabbing the back of her left knee now, and she's actually starting to open. She's loosening up that left pants leg and opening the buckles a little bit on that left ski boot. So yeah, it's pretty tough right now to watch. Um, she's. I really think she should have taken the sled, that waited for the sled. Now she's kind of leaning on her poles, shaking her head, um, and and now she's skiing again. She's one tough cookie. Let me tell you, she's been through it all in her ski career that has spanned nearly 2 decades, or solid 2 decades with a couple years off. Great champion, tremendous resume. Um, yeah, let's look at that real quick. Let's look at Lindsey Vonn's resume, because if she's going to be hurt and maybe not make the Olympics next week. It would be really sad that this was her last race. Um, yeah, I mean, she's got 84 total wins. She's got 1 gold and 2 bronzes at the Olympics, 2 golds, 3 silver, 3 bronzes at World Championships, and 2 silvers and a bronze at Junior Championships. 84 wins, 73 of those in downhill and Super G, 4 in giant slalom, 2 in slalom, 5 in combined. Um, Golds. I mean, first place podiums at World Cup races. So yeah, Olympic Games, gold in Vancouver in the downhill, bronze in the Super G in Vancouver. Then 8 years later in Pyeongchang in the downhill, bronze again, and she was hoping to get another gold here. So let's get back to her a little bit. Um, yeah, okay, she is just about at the finish. She's now at that really hard 90-degree turn that they put in at the finish line, which I really don't get. When you guys, if you guys watch this later on, some kind of um, summary video on YouTube, um, big cheering for her in the finish area right now. But yeah, she's she's in pain. You can see it, her face. She's in pain. I'm really surprised that she skied down. Maybe if she's hurt that bad and she knows that this might be it for her career, um, she can feel her knee, if her knee's gone or not. Maybe she just wanted to finish her career upright. Um, she's talking to Jackie Wiles now, who's in first place right now. Um, some sniffles, some crying. Jackie Wiles going into the tent with Lindsay Vonn. Um, but yeah, I can imagine the ovation that she got there. If she's hurt badly enough that she won't be able to race tomorrow or in the Olympics, I think maybe her career is done. And now a close-up shot of her face now as she came through the finish line and into that area. Um, just kind of a look of disappointment, you know. So yeah, she's in pain. And just a nice moment, a really tender moment with her and Jackie Wiles there before they went into the tent to get that first treatment. So a really tough race to watch so far, guys. Thanks all you for joining. Yeah, Jilu Flakti here on the chat. You're absolutely right. Snow is definitely too soft. Um, it looks like they got um, some some snow overnight. It is cold. It's -8 from what I can tell from the weather channel that I'm looking at. And yeah, we also see that there's a bad jump up at the top where Vonn and Nina Ortlieb went down, same turn. There's a jump, a turn into a jump, and then you don't land flat. You learn on a bit of a slope. You land on a bit of a slope and then have to make a right turn right away. And it looks like both Ortlieb and Lindsay Vonn crashed at the exact same place there. And that's what was hurting people up top. And then um, Marte Monsen crashed in that terrible 90-degree turn, 3 gates from the end. And we saw that Corinne Sutter also almost crashed there. So yeah, that third gate from the end is going to cause a lot of problems. And the gate where Vonn and Nina Ortlieb both crashed is going to cause a lot of problems. I really don't like the course setting here. Um, this is not cool. This is not cool to have 2 places in the same race that are dangerous. I think, you know, they could have done a lot better job with that. You don't land people after a jump onto a side slope. Your feet are coming down and one foot comes down before the other foot. It's just not a good thing. And I mean, you could maybe do that if you didn't have another turn right away. Within half a second of landing, you have to get into another turn. And it's a fairly steep drop off at the jump. So coming down, you can see that their bodies are moving, and one leg is going down, the other leg is going um, is still up in the air a little bit, and then you get that kind of dump dump, that 2 feet come down one after the other, and then right away you've got to turn. So you've got to wait for that second foot to come down, and then that first foot is already starting to lean to make the turn, and that's where both Vonn and Ortlieb were out. Breezy Johnson is up next. I'm still not seeing a time for when they're going to start. It still says race interrupted um, on the screen. Again, I'm watching on sport.orf.at, the Austrian national news channel and sports channel. I use NordVPN. If you want NordVPN, take a look in the description below. There is a link for NordVPN. I've been using it for about 3 years now. I don't get anything from them, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe if you sign up, I get something. Maybe I get a free month or something like that. I haven't checked. But yeah, there is a link below. You can NordVPN and then into Austria and then go to sport.orf.at if you want to see the feed. I have it up on a second computer over here. I've got my laptop here, my desktop here. Um, and yeah, it's been a really, really tough race to watch. Thanks you all for joining. Um, we had a great weekend last week doing the live commentary. I did all three races in Kitzbühel, the men's Super G downhill and slalom. It was great. We had 2,500 of you watching during the downhill with me. That was really fantastic. And about 1,000 on Friday for the Super G all in, and about 600 all in on the slalom on Sunday. So we're doing again the weekend now. We've got the women's downhill today. We've got the women's Super G tomorrow, and we've got the men's downhill on Sunday. Tomorrow will be an 11 a.m. start. Sunday will also be 11 a.m. start. And then this is it. These were the final tune-ups for the Olympics, and we have the opening ceremonies next Friday night from San Siro Stadium in Milan. And then right away the next morning, we will have the men's downhill from Bormio. So not sure if I'll be covering the opening ceremony or not. That's a little hard to do a watch along with, but definitely the men's downhill next Saturday morning from Bormio, and that'll be 11:30 a.m. next Saturday. So make a note of that. We'll be definitely covering the men's downhill. Hold on a second. Let me double check that one more time. Downhill, 11:30, Saturday, 7th of February, the men from Bormio. The following day, Sunday, the 8th of February, will be the women downhill from Cortina, beautiful track. And then Monday, the 9th, we'll have the team combination race of the men. And then on Tuesday, the team combo of the women. Wednesday will be the Super G of the men. Thursday, the Super G of the women. So basically, it's every day. And then over the weekend, we'll have giant slalom of the men from Bormio, Sunday giant slalom from the women. So basically, from the 7th to the 15th, we'll be wall to wall racing with the Olympics. So please like and subscribe. Glad to have you here. Race is still interrupted. We have been 47 minutes into this now, and we've had 6 racers start and only 3 finish. 3 crashes. The first one, Nina Ortlieb, ski racer, bib 1, slid into the fence, same place where Lindsay Vonn did 5 skiers later. Nina Ortlieb was able to get up. She was able to ski down on her own power without any obvious injury. I can see her in the video feed right now, smiling and looking good. She looks comfortable. Clearly, no injuries. She'll be back out tomorrow for the Super G. Marte Monsen from Norway. 2-3 gates from the finish, hit the gate, went straight across the track and 90 degrees straight into the netting. They're actually going to do a forerunner right now. Got forerunner F5, got a dude up here, and he's going to go down again because there is light snowfall. Maybe they just want to get somebody to go down and create a line again for these women racers to follow. There is fairly consistent flurries of snow. So yeah, good to see them taking the care, taking the time to have somebody go down and just put one set of skis into the snow before they open up the race again to the women. Again, next up will be Breezy Johnson of the U.S., followed by Kira Weidel, Winkelmann, Sofia Goggia, Laura Piravano, Kasia Wikoff-Lee, Cornelia Hütter, Emma Eicher, and then with number 15, one of my favorite ski racers of all, Esther Ledetka, not only because she's a great skier, and yes, we have watched her ski and win medals many times, but she's also a world-class snowboarder and has won medals there. So I think, yeah, wow, this forerunner also not having a great time of it. The course setting, I have to say, I don't know which coach is responsible today. It's awful. It is one of the worst course settings I have ever seen. Way too many awkward curves, way too many awkward turns, jumps with, like I described earlier, where people are going over the jump and landing not flat, but one foot first and the other foot second because they're on a slope. And not only are they landing on a side slope, but then they have to hit a 90-degree turn. And this is where both Nina Ortlieb and Lindsay Vonn went down. So this is pretty rough. And then at the end of the race, just 4 or 5 gates from the finish, we have another issue where there's a tight right and the skiers are getting uh, taken out to the left into some deeper snow, and they have to try to come back uphill a little bit to make the second to last gate, which is almost a 90-degree turn to the left, and they're just not making it. I'm watching this guy go down now, the forerunner. I mean, he's in, but he's talking to the race director down at the bottom and telling him exactly. He's showing them, yeah, that one turn, and kind of these quick hand movements. Like this is a downhill, and there's like too many tight, awkward turns that just aren't aligned. He's smiling. He's just happy to make it down, happy to have a chance. The snow's actually picked up a little bit now. So this, all in all, this is not going really well for the organizers. And we are in Crans-Montana right now. Crans-Montana, as many of you know, had this terrible tragedy on New Year's Eve, where there was a fire in a bar. Sparklers on champagne bottles apparently lit up some decorations or things on the ceiling of the bar, and caused a really quick and deadly fire. 40 people lost their lives, 120 um, were injured. You can see in the bottom of my screen, I've got that little black ribbon, a little in memoriam, thinking about all those folks who suffered or lost their lives in that bar fire here in Crans-Montana just 4 weeks ago on New Year's Eve. So it's kind of ominous when you think about it that we're having such a terrible time right now. I'm going to try to get some news on Marte Monsen on the side over here. Um, See if there's any update on what happened. Yeah, there are articles already, and she lost her helmet. There's an unbelievable still picture. After she hit the net, lost her skis, she also lost her helmet. Was holding her arms out, trying to slow herself down because it's in that final section right after the second to last gate, and she slid all the way down to the finish line, and somebody captured an unbelievable still. Yeah, she hit the netting. There are 3 rows of this red netting at that point because they're coming across 90 degrees before that last 90-degree turn. So they have 3 rows of netting up. She hit the first one, skis flew off, then she hit the ground, and her helmet came off, did like a helicopter into in that netting, just spinning, her body just spinning, and then the helmet came off, and it looks like she might have hit her head on the slope as she went down. And I'm trying to see if she's okay or not. It doesn't say anything about whether uh, she didn't lose consciousness, and there is no new information about her condition. So back to the race. Um, oh, okay, everybody, big news. The race has been canceled. The race has been canceled. They will not continue the race today. The condition, the conditions of the race, the trouble, the three crashes in the first six racers. Um, I think the way the course was set is terrible. I think it's a disgrace to see such a dangerous course. I don't know what they were thinking. Um, yeah, have a great race, but make a fast race, but don't make impossible turns. We're 1 week from the Olympics. This is what people wait 4 years for, and they set a course like this. I'm gonna find out who did this. I'm gonna see, who which country set this, because I can't see anybody getting an advantage from setting a course like this. It's supposed to be a downhill. You don't put 90-degree turns at 115 kilometers an hour, two gates from the finish, um, on a downhill. The race is canceled, guys. Um, we've been on the air for for 51 minutes now. We've been streaming for 51 minutes, and we've seen six racers start, only three finish. Jackie Wiles was leading, Corinne Sutter was second, 3/10 back, and Romain Miradoli was third, 6/10 back. But Nina Ortlieb, who started first, Lindsay Vonn, who started sixth, Marte Monsen, who started third, all crashed out. Um, Marte Monsen clearly with injuries taken away on the stretcher. Lindsay Vonn clearly with a knee injury. We're going to have to figure out what happened there. Lindsay Vonn, she's 41. If she's hurt to the point where she's not going to be able to compete in the Olympics next year, um, there are a lot of stories already out there about Lindsay Vonn. They're calling it a crash orgy. Um, they don't, let's see, she's holding her left knee, had it pain, but was able to get to the finish line as we reported on earlier. Yeah, if she is out of the Olympics because of this is just terrible. This is absolutely terrible. I don't know who set the course for today. Um, one comment in the chat is that the snow is too soft, and yes, the snow looks like it is a bit soft, but the course itself looked like the surface was good, like they had done a good preparing job. But when you have these two sections where the three crashes occurred, the upper section where the Vonn and Ortlieb both crashed, where there's a jump where you're landing on a side hill and then have to do a 90-degree turn right away. Vonn and Ortlieb both crashed there. And then at the end of the course, where there's a tight left turn that ends up shoving you out into some of the deeper snow because the turn is too tight to make. Um, and then you have to try to find your way back to a, a slightly uphill to a left turn that's almost 90 degrees. And once you get out of the course into that little bit of deeper snow on the side, there's just no way anymore to make that turn. And what happened to Marte Monsen is that she couldn't make the turn, and she went uh, straight across. She was not able to make that final turn. She went straight across through the gate, um, straight across and right into the safety nets, the three rows of safety nets, hit that hard, went down, kind of helicoptering down, both skis flying off, helmet flying off, and she slid down without her helmet um, the last 100 meters or so. Um, she was able to communicate. She was talking. Um, After a while, she was just kind of laying there. I don't know if she lost consciousness for a little bit, but because she was just laying there, maybe she's just trying to gather herself. But then, sorry, she was able to sit up on her own. People got up to her um, and started the first aid process, and eventually determined that she was not able to continue on her own. So really shocking race today. Um, Lindsay Vonn, Marte Monsen, both injured. We don't know how bad yet. My sense is that Marte Monsen from Norway, probably with a concussion. Who knows what else? Um, Lindsay Vonn looks like a left knee injury. She was doing a lot of self-diagnosis. I was surprised that she put her skis back on and went all the way down, skied all the way down by herself. It took quite a while. It really did. It took quite a while for her to get down, probably 4 or 5 minutes to get down the rest of the way, which would have been 1 minute racing time. She was just trying to somehow get down. I didn't see the point of it really, but in hindsight now, thinking that maybe she knew already that her knee was gone, and that she wanted to, and if she's not going to be able to race tomorrow and in the Olympics, then she wanted to come down across the finish line maybe one more time and say goodbye to fans. And the fans were great. The Swiss crowd, thousands of them waving flags for her, and giving her a lot of love there. So it was, yeah, definitely a tough thing to watch. I was really in shock. Start number one and bam, she's Nina Ortlieb's down. Um, Got up. She seems to, of the three who went down, to have the least effect. I saw her giving interview. I saw her smiling and joking with a few people. So clearly, standing solidly, great posture. Don't think she has any injuries, and she's the one who's missed the better part of 3 seasons with some really bad injuries. Nina Ortlieb, but then Marte Monsen was um, in the third to last gate, a tough right-hander that drove her out to the left into some deeper snow, no longer able to get back uphill slightly to the next gate, went straight across, hit the safety nets, both skis came off. She did a helicopter or two with her body, came down, helmet came off, and she slid all the way down to the finish line. It was really tough to watch because we didn't know if she was conscious at that moment or not conscious at that moment. It looks in some of the stills that I found on one of these other news sites now. I'm trying to watch over here a little bit. Um, she was she was working her core, trying to keep her head up. Did have her hands out a little bit, so it's possible she never lost consciousness because she did hit the net really hard. And then when she did the helicopters, I'm not sure if she came down head first or not. I'm just seeing stills. I'm not seeing the actual video footage from that. Um, Interviews ongoing now, but there's not much to say any more about this. We're going to wait and try to find out if they give us some notion of what Lindsay Vonn is saying about her injury, if they have any. I mean, yeah, hyperextension, they're going to need to do, you know, Lindsey Vonn is sore. So even the Olympic site, I'm looking at the Olympic site right now, and even the Olympic site has already posted a story. Lindsey Vonn left sore after crashing into net in Crans-Montana downhill. The 41-year-old skiing star remained down for several minutes and looked in pain as she eventually skied down to the finish line. So the 41-year-old who's wearing the discipline's leader's red bib. So this is what they wear. The person who's wearing who's number one in the standings, the World Cup standings for downhill. She gets the bib. Um, just 15 seconds in or so, there was the 12-second time check, and then just a few seconds after that, this jump where you come down on a side slope, one leg first, then the other leg, and then have to do a hard right turn, which left her on her side going into the nets. She actually got turned around and went in backwards. And when she did finally get up, her left knee was definitely not okay. Um, she appeared in discomfort as she slowly skied down to the finish area, stopping to clutch her left knee. She was the third racer to crash after only 6 athletes had been down the course, and they put that in before they decided to cancel the race. There's an interview now with Nina Ortlieb, bib number 1, and getting another take from her. They had interviewed her a little earlier. She looks fairly serious. She's fine. She's fine. But yeah, it's been a super, super tough race for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be asking questions about how they set this course, about um, how bad that first jump was 15, 16 seconds in to land on a side slope, and to right after landing on a side slope in snowy, soft conditions, to have to go right into a 90-degree turn or a hard right turn. That cost both Nina Ortlieb and Lindsay Vonn. They both went down in that curve right after that jump. And then at the bottom of the course, this 90-degree turn, which is preceded by, so there's a hard right, which driving the skiers out into some soft snow, but then they have to get back uphill slightly to make the final gate, which is a 90-degree left turn. This is a downhill. I've been watching downhill skiing for 50 years. Okay, this is not how you do the finish of a downhill. This is especially not how you do the finish of a downhill 1 week before the Olympic Games. Are you trying to get people hurt? I really don't understand what's going on when people set a course, a downhill course where they're doing 116K. If we look here, um, I'm going to slide up again. Corinne Sutter, um, who finished second, of course, there'll be no points for this race. This protects Lindsay Vonn's lead in the downhill standings. She's 144 points ahead of Emma Eicher, 168 ahead of Kira Weidle-Winkelmann, both of Germany, neither of which got to ski today. Um, there are 3 races left. If she's not able to go, it'll be interesting to see if the others can catch her. I don't, Pirovano in 207, 200 points back, outside chance of passing her. If Vonn can't ski anymore this year, if she does have a serious knee injury, then I don't think, I think maybe somebody will catch her. Maybe Emma Eicher will catch her, but they only have 3 downhills to go after the Olympics. The Olympics, of course, do not count towards the World Cup standings for these individual events. So I'm going to get the video feed up here one more time. The ORF, the Austrian National Broadcast Company, is still doing interviews with different skiers. The race is officially canceled after just 6 skiers. Just 6 skiers in, and 3 of them crashed, 2 of them hard. One of them had to be taken off on the stretcher, on the sled. Maybe concussion, maybe other issues. We're going to see try to see exactly what happened. Um, yeah, yeah, still nothing about the condition. Um, yeah, the news stations are all talking about the crashes. They're talking about that the race has been canceled. This is the last downhill for the women before the Olympics start. Again, talking about the Olympic schedule, we're going to be covering all the ski races during the Olympics. Um, we've still got two races this weekend. We've got the women's Super G tomorrow. So the question is, are they going to be able to do something about this course for tomorrow's race? It depends how much snow still comes down. It depends how they set the course. Hopefully somebody's going to say, you know what, don't be a dick and set a course that's going to hurt people a week before the Olympics. Nobody wants that. Montana already lots of negative headlines because of that bar fire on New Year's Eve that cost the lives of 40 people, 120 injured. Very, very sad thing. Um, and now to see this ski race set in such a way that 3 of 6 people crashed and they had to cancel the race. So I really don't agree with the course setting here. I don't know which coach did it. Usually it's a coach who sets it. But we'll be back out here tomorrow. So giving you one more time what's going on. A race canceled today, the downhill, 3 crashes in the first 6 racers, 2 of them serious. We've got the Super G of the women tomorrow, so these same women are going to come right back out here tomorrow, run the same on the same slope, slightly varied version. Of course, it's going to be a lot. There'll be more gates. Hopefully, they'll make it more fluid and make it. It's a 115 was the downhill today. I'm guessing tomorrow will probably be just under a minute for the Super G. They're usually about 15 seconds slower than the downhill because of the additional gates. So the women tomorrow, Super G at 11 a.m. I'll be here. Join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. And then Sunday, the men's downhill from here as well. I don't know if it's on the exact same slope or not. We will find out. But I'll be looking forward to see you there. And then next week, the Olympics start. So don't forget to join us. The Olympics, I know in the United States, the Olympics are often on tape delay. They show only some racers. They put in bios. And all that's interesting enough, but for me, I want to watch the race. I want to see every racer. I want to see, the first in World Cup, at least the first 30, because outside the top 30, you generally don't get a chance to see anybody beyond that make it to a podium. You'll see top 10s occasionally, but that's about it. So we'll have the opening ceremonies next Friday night. I don't think I'm going to be covering that. But Saturday morning, a week from tomorrow morning, the men's downhill from Bormio, we will definitely be there for that. So join us. And then the next day is the women's downhill from Cortina d'Ampezzo, which is a beautiful course. Hopefully, whatever's happening now with the weather, um, let's get lots of snow during the week. Let's let the races somehow, you know, get done this weekend, and then during the week get as much snow as we need for the Olympics, so that we can have a great Olympics with lots of good conditions. We always want to see bluebird sunshine ski days, and have the great races in good conditions with sunny skies and no wind and good snow. So we'll see that. So again, so we got tomorrow the women's Super G, Sunday the men's downhill, and then a week from Saturday or a week from tomorrow, the men's downhill Olympics from Bormio. The next day, Sunday, is the women's downhill from Cortina, and then pretty much every day there will be additional coverage. We've got on, what do we got here? We've got the team combination then on the Monday for the men in Bormio. Then Tuesday is the team combination for the women in Cortina. Then Wednesday, the Super G for the men. Thursday, the Super G for the women. Then Friday is an off day for alpine skiing. And then the following Saturday, so 2 weeks from tomorrow, is the giant slalom of the men from Bormio. Sunday is the giant slalom women from Cortina. And then on Monday, the 16th, you've got the men's slalom from Bormio. And Wednesday, the 18th, which will be the end of the alpine skiing for the Olympics, with the slalom of the women in Cortina d'Ampezzo. So yeah, A lot going on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 Olympic days of skiing to cover, plus we've got tomorrow and Sunday to cover as well. So that's it right now. I'm gonna end this live stream. Once again, canceled race, no results, no points. We have two people injured fairly significantly, and Lindsay Vonn, who's holding her knee, maybe hyperextended, maybe more. Marte Monsen um, crashing into the net, losing her skis and her helmet, and sliding down through the finish line. Looked pretty bad. Nina Ortlieb sliding into the net, but looked unhurt and gave some interviews and seems to be fine. And we'll probably see her outside on the race course tomorrow in the Super G. Yeah, and that's about it for now. So we'll see you tomorrow. Um, 11 a.m. Super G of the Women from Crown Montana. Join me again tomorrow for this. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a full race in as we prepare for the Olympics that start a week from tonight. Bye for now.